Hello internet, hello future me. It is January 20th, 2024, 8:17 p.m. Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. To start things off, uh, I wanted to do this like 15 minutes sooner, but I'm having trouble with charging my phone. This has happened in the past with my old phone, with an iPhone. Basically, you have to kind of push it, angle the charging port, whatever, charging thing, in a certain way, kind of have to dig in and push for the charging to actually work. I spent the last 15 minutes trying to figure it out. Finally did it. But yeah, and I guess a little update. You can't see from this view, but I finally decided to decorate my room a bit. I have two paintings that I got from Cuba, but it's not like a really Cuban. I mean, one is kind of Cuban. And I bought it by the airport, but it was kind of nice. So I know it's a bit tacky, but for a tacky place to purchase, I have like one right in front of me. It's like a portrait, uh, or it's a portrait frame, but not a portrait of in a blue uh hue, blue hue, blue. It's all blue, monochromatic, blue monochromatic, like print of a painting of just the body of a male and a female standing up, but like close. Could be having sex, maybe not. It's hard to tell. But it seems kind of European and collegey to have an artwork like that. And I don't know, it kind of looks nice. I like it. Artistic, aesthetically, it looks nice. So I have that. And then to my left over there, I have a painting it's more Cuban. It says Vampiros en La Habana. And this is an actual painting, but it's like a small, you know, locally painted of this cartoon vampire character with like the Cuban like uh, blouse. I don't know what you call it. And then has a cigar. So like, vampires in Cuba, they're sucking because it's like a sucking cigar or something. I think. And that was a cute painting, so I got that. So is that it? Is that what I wanted to talk about? Oh no. So I feel direction, or I guess how have I spent the last 2 weeks of winter break? Um, I would honestly say a lot of procrastination. Um, a lot of procrastination. Yeah. But I've spent more time in cooking. Like today, most of the day, I've been cooking. I what did I cook? I made like a soy sauce base, garlic with mirin and sugar and onion, to kind of marinate boiled eggs. I really like boiled eggs, like those ramen ones. I think it worked, but the thing is, I want like that yolky, wet consistency, but like obviously not too yolky. But the problem I have here is there's no freezer, so I can't get ice. So what I do is I just put a bowl of water in the fridge for a while. And then when I need to shock the eggs, I quickly take out the bowl, put the eggs in, and then put it back in the fridge. I usually dump the water once and re-put the water because the water gets warm, but I thought, it's fine. And then after 10 minutes, I checked the bowl and the bowl was warm, even though it was in the fridge the whole time. So I think I kind of fucked up, but then when I cracked the shell, like the feeling of the egg seemed like it was fine. It had that softness that kind of infer that, infer. What would be a word for this situation? I could assume, I guess, that the yolk is not like too solid, which I don't like at all. So we'll see. I might eat it tomorrow. Yeah, I've made these eggs in the past. I realize if I marinate them for too long, they get really salty. So I think even one night might be just enough. But yeah, that's what I made. I made a lot of egg stuff. I actually used 10 eggs today. No. I think yesterday. Oh, okay. So yesterday I made eggs Benedict, and actually for breakfast and dinner, for today I made eggs Benedict as well. It's kind of a hard dish to make, but it was an interesting challenge. I think I succeeded enough. The hollandaise sauce was a challenge because, I watched Gordon Ramsay's recipe video, and the issue I had was he used like a glass bowl over water, but we don't have a glass bowl, and we don't have a bowl that big of a size. So I used like a ceramic bowl where I held the bowl and whisked the hollandaise, which burns you, so I have to keep like putting it out and then putting it back in. It's kind of a tedious process. And I put too much vinegar, so it tasted too acidic. So I was trying to counter it. I put some, and it had like a very raw yolky flavor. So I tried to counter it with first salt, which just made the hollandaise salty, and then I put baking powder, and that negated the vinegar, too much of the vinegar. But then it made the sauce a little too salty. At the end, it kind of worked out, to be honest. It tastes pretty decent with everything else on it, but as it is, it tastes terrible. But anyways, yeah, the first poached egg I made didn't work. Yesterday. Oh yeah, last night when I made the Benedicts or poached eggs, I think for both of them I boiled too much. But this morning I made like a really good one, two good ones. One looked kind of shitty, the shape, but the other egg was like perfectly round, like a mozzarella bowl, you know. And then I cut it open and the yolk leaks out. Very beautiful. I liked it. Just the hollandaise sauce looks a big. It's still yellow, but it's like grayish yellow, probably because of the baking powder. But it is what it is. Yeah. So I made a bacon one, and then salmon one. Sometimes adding avocado or lettuce. That was good. Good stuff. Today I also made I guess I cooked chicken with the leftover soy sauce base. Well, that's, not much cooking. That's just heating up chicken. I also made dulce de leche. It looks gross because I guess the mixture didn't mix well, so once it was done, you can see bits of brown. It's not like a clean caramel-ish color of brown. But it tastes fine. But like when I was making, I realized how much fat and sugary it is. It's literally just sugar, condensed milk, butter. I would never ever make this again. But the thing is, I really wanted to make this because when I went to Cuba, I could not find dulce de leche. So I had to really, I was craving for it. Um, but yeah, and I made a lot, like a bowl this size. It fills up the whole bowl, and like it's so sweet and fatty, you can't really eat too much of it. So we'll see how that goes. I also made like a salad bowl, just avocado, lettuce. I had like paprika left over, so I used that. I wanted to use some onions, but I guess the onions were too old, so I had to throw them away. But I have a bowl, so I'm pretty set for, I want to say 2 days at least. Yeah, but the eggs I also want to eat it with rice at least. So I will have to make rice as well as a chicken. So I think they can stay for a bit, but then the salad, or no, I want the salad with chicken, but not the soy sauce base, just lemon and salt and pepper. So I'll make that as well. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I learned is how easy it is for bacon to get overcooked. Although I wasn't using like the traditional bacon, so maybe that's why it was. I don't know. It was some kind of cured ham as well, but I couldn't find like normal raw bacon for some reason. I guess because it's not America here, so maybe that's why. So, how about it's still good. Only the last I made how many did I make? I made 3 or 4. No, 3. I made three bacon and 3 salmon egg benedicts. And the third one, I finally got the right amount of cooking, so it was cool. Yeah, a lot of cooking recently. I really like cooking. What's great about me liking cooking is that I would never pursue that on an academic or a professional level. I think certain things like art should stay as a hobby. And that's, I think, a good segue into film, because as much as I want to pursue that, it should still be my hobby to a certain extent, or never my main source of income. I think I've talked about this before. But the issue with that is I do procrastinate a lot. And also, I'm already procrastinating with academic stuff, so I was supposed to do some thesis stuff. I haven't still started. Although I did finish my PubMed workshop, so that's something. But it's definitely not enough. I have a meeting in 2 weeks with my supervisor, so I really, really hope I do something. I also want to go to the gym tomorrow, maybe. I want to go today, but I said the same thing 2 days ago. Yeah. But anyways, so film. Yeah, the Onion series, the structuralist series, I just uploaded one. I've already taken like 3, 4 videos, but I didn't want to upload them all at once. But now I'm procrastinating uploading them, so I'm gonna start uploading more. And the onion, I can't leave the onion out for too long. I just have like an onion out because I want to make sure I'm using the same exact onion for recording. But yeah, I did that. And then I had this idea, I think I already talked about it, of filming me biking around. It has the kind of vibe as the Man with the Moving Camera, and or more of um, I don't like Warhol's life or whatever. This guy has like a montage of um, montage of scenes of him recording Warhol's life. I really like the vibe of that film because it's not just aesthetic, it's the feeling, I guess, because it also includes audio or something. I don't know. I want to kind of recreate that, but possibly with the Duviri paradox, I think. The Warframe's like black and white but sometimes colored aesthetic, and film just my perspective of me biking around the city. And the Duviri is only because I really find that aesthetic cool. And making it just black and white seems unauthentic. I feel like it seems like I'm just I'm creating this like fake nostalgia. And black and white's overdone. So something cool, I guess. I was thinking, I've talked about, like, I had a whole video about this, but I've been thinking about the struggle between being unique and creative versus having to know certain stuff to be able to produce film. I think I'm coming more to the conclusion that I have to fight through being creative while being pushed into a frame of uncreativity by learning more techniques, more watching more films. I mean, I already kind of do that. The issue is there is a sort of language, I think, or with film, there's a language that's more intuitive, but there's also language that is learned, understood. Like when something is shot in a specific, like, framing, how certain design, like mise en scène designs, and how a character is placed within that design set. Like I was watching a video of A Mood for Love by Nerdwrite, I think they're called, and talks about how the film is constantly being framed, or the characters being framed, and usually it's like layers of frame. And that sort of language, I think on an intuitive level, you feel the unease of claustrophobia. So you can sort of understand that film language as an amateur, but also there is that learned level that makes the film more rich. And if I'm just pursuing creativity and uniqueness, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of that language. But I know for the fact that learning more of that language would limit my unique, or whatever I have that would be more unique in expression. I mean, the truth is, I'm already limited like a lot because of, our language, technology, society, culture, whatever. So I think what I have to work on is more so realize what's putting me in a box and fight through that rather than just avoiding the box. I think I just have to acknowledge that I have to be inside a box. And I was thinking, when I make like a really good, my first like proper narrative film should be about this issue of, I think it'll be a multitude of issue of, you know, I think it's also a very modern issue because of how much films are produced today. Back then, I mean, there was a lot more leeway or ways to be unique, I feel. But there's so many millions of films been done, it's hard to be unique, you know. And then on top of that, there's all these YouTube videos, you know. So many people can just make videos, and that really saturates the universe of videos in our reality. So it's really, 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 really hard to produce something that's unique and creative. But also the other issue is when it's unique and creative, is it able to actually communicate what you're trying to communicate? So that's why I think you need to accept and being put in a box. And that's the idea of like the learned language of cinema, not just intuitive. But the film would discuss this also in a meta level. Well, it'll play around with intuitive framing versus more learned framing, along with, sorry, my voice is a little shaky because I'm cold. I have the central heater like right next to me. I feel the heat, but it's not hot enough. I'll turn up the heat, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, that film, that is my film idea. I really think, and then the whole film should not be explicitly saying that, because one of the main points, well, I guess the main theme or message would be the struggle between creativity and communication, you know. And then I think that theme is unique, creative. But by creating a more like a, not background, what's the word? Well, the theme would be background. It would be the main theme, but it's in the background. In the foreground is a more narratively driven, like more explicit story. So the idea is, can the background idea be communicated to the audience? And to communicate, I will need to use different themes or play around with, not themes, technique. But I kind of just thought about that. I think it would be a really cool film. It will be short because I don't have the resources. And I'll probably make it after I graduate because I'll have a lot more time, ideally. But yeah, I don't know how to do because I don't have actors. I'm the only actor and cameraman. I mean, well, I don't have actor friends, and I don't want cheesy acting, and I'm not an actor. So, what do I do? I don't know. Maybe I make an animation, but I don't know how to animate. I'll have to learn Blender and stuff, but I don't have that sort of artistic skill, in my opinion. My art is more towards the idea, like writing and directing. I think that's where my forte is. But obviously, I do want to work on film techniques. Um, but yeah. The thing is, I haven't really worked too much with film. That's one reason why I'm doing this structuralist series. Because it's not just reading techniques, I'm doing it. It's very simple. I literally do just a static shot or close-up of an onion. But in doing so, I think it's more to do with me fighting my procrastination. But at the same time, I'm finally like doing something, I'm doing something, and then maybe I realize something. Like one thing I realized, and it's not like a big revelation, but when I change the zoom, the camera switches, so you can clearly see the shift in how the camera changes with not changing, changing zoom, changing magnification. And it's a very, like, a basic realization, but that's something I feel like you forget, when you're recording. That's something I realized. And that's something I guess you wouldn't get in a proper camera, because you would either switch to change focal length or magnification, or you have a cool camera that has only one lens. You don't have like 3 lensed camera. So yeah. Also the issue I'm gonna stick to just my iPhone for equipment for a while. It's definitely not the best equipment, and the issue I have is my zoom camera, like the ×2, it shakes. It's like broken. So I don't know what to do about that. So yeah. Now I'm thinking about, I had this issue in the past, like several years ago, but I can't remember if the shaking camera problem I'm just remembering was with my old phone or this phone. I think it was my old phone. Yeah. And then now I'm having the same issue again with this camera. And also with the old phone, I had the issue with the charging. This phone's issue with charging, so yeah. Yeah. It's like 5 versions newer, and I'm still having the same issue. Great. And I was thinking, like, I'm not gonna have an iPhone or smartphone after this, because of how horrible and addicting it is. But then I realized how much of my stuff, how much of the things I do are relied on the iPhone. Like, for example, my voice cracked. For example, like investing. I have Robinhood. It's on my iPhone. Is that it? I guess I use a lot of ChatGPT for like quick Googling. Like, I don't Google anymore. I use ChatGPT. It's much faster. It gives me better answers. Which I know that issue with that, but also when you think about it, it is basically Googling, because Google also limits the accessible information you have based on what it provides you and what it provides you first. So the issue with ChatGPT is more so it puts the issue up front while Google is better at hiding it. The same idea as Photoshop makes you realize how much editing is possible, or how much how much subjectivity is possible with camera, and it's not just Photoshop, just taking a photo includes a lot of subjectivity. So it's kind of like that. Like a new technology makes you realize the same issue with old technology. So yeah, 31 minutes again. I'm gonna stop. I love ranting. This is an issue too, because I realized, well, I don't know. Well, I realized one thing is like you can't do this with a normal conversation. Because a normal conversation needs a rat-a-tat, Here, it's only rat. And it's so much easier to talk. I think, to a certain extent, this is unhealthy. But at the same time, I think there's value in this, because it is a journal. And also, I think, well, also, writing would be a better form of journaling than video recording, because when you write, your thoughts become more succinct. There's a bit of chaos in verbal language, vocal language. Wait, what does verbal mean? Brain fart. Vocal language. And then when you write, there's that mental process to organize your thoughts. And I used to kind of do that with my Instagram stories on my Finsta, where it was kind of like a journal where I just write thoughts. But it helps me realize new ideas, which to a certain extent this form of journaling does as well, but I felt that there was more of that when I was writing down. And that I stopped because that made me be on Instagram too much. And that was bad. And then writing, I just cannot, I'm too lazy. Because, part of it is you have that mental process to make your words succinct. There's more work you have to do. This is just talking. I enjoy talking. It's easy. I just click record. I talk for more than 30 minutes. I should really stop. And then I'm done. So yeah. Well, what should the title be? I have a film idea. Something. Yeah, I guess. I know what my first film should be. That's a good title. Okay. Bye. Goodbye. Have a nice day.